Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Renuka and with me is Manoj Singh Rana, bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment and more. The headlines. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says India and New Zealand are committed to furthering their bilateral relationship. India rules out talks with Pakistan. Home Minister Amit Shah says terrorism would be eradicated from Kashmir Valley at any cost. India emerges as the world's largest producer and second largest exporter of sugar. OPEC and its Russia-led allies agree to slash oil production 2 million barrels a day. World Trade Organization forecasts a slowdown of global trade growth next year. Nobel Prize in Chemistry jointly awarded to 1 Danish and 2 American scientists for their work which can be applied in treatment of cancer. The Dussehra marking triumph of good over evil being celebrated across India, Durga Puja celebrations concludes in Bangladesh. And in cricket, India to play South Africa in first ODI of 3 match in Lucknow on Thursday. Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar reached Auckland on Wednesday on a week-long visit to New Zealand and Australia. This is his first visit to New Zealand. He met Member of New Zealand Parliament Priyanka Radhakrishnan. They participated in an interactive session with prominent personalities of New Zealand. Dr. Jaishankar said in a tweet that they are committed to furthering India-New Zealand relationship. On Thursday, the visiting minister will participate in an event along with New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern to felicitate members of the Indian community for their exceptional achievements and contributions. Both the leaders will release India at 75 postage stamps to commemorate and showcase Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav in New Zealand. Dr. Jaishankar will launch the book Modi at 20, Dreams Meet Delivery, a book showcasing Prime Minister Narendra Modi's special bond with the Sikh community. Heartfelt, The Legacy of Faith will also be released. He will also hold bilateral meeting with his New Zealand counterpart, Nanaya Mahuta, to discuss and review the entire gamut of bilateral relations. In Wellington, Dr. Jaishankar will inaugurate the newly constructed building of the High Commission of India. In the second leg of his tour in Australia, the External Affairs Minister will visit Canberra and Sydney. It will be his second visit to Australia this year. He will hold the 13th Foreign Ministers Framework Dialogue along with his counterpart Penny Wong. Dr. Jaishankar will also meet Australian Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister Richard Marles. He will also have interactions with the Australian Navy, the media and think tanks, including the Lowy Institute in Sydney. The ministerial dialogue of US-India Strategic Clean Energy Partnership will be held on Friday. Indian Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri will lead business delegation to Washington and Houston in the United States. Mr. Puri will also interact with World Bank officials on climate-resilient urban infrastructure. The revamped Strategic Clean Energy Partnership was launched in accordance with the US-India Climate and Clean Energy Agenda 2030 partnership announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Joe Biden in April last year. The partnership continues to advance energy security and innovation and deploying technical solutions through 5 pillars. These are responsible oil and gas pillar, power and energy efficiency, renewable energy, sustainable growth and emerging fuels and technologies.
Indian Home Minister Amit Shah has ruled out any talks with Pakistan. He said the Modi government will talk only with the people of Jammu and Kashmir and stressed that terrorism would be eradicated from the Kashmir Valley at any cost. Addressing a rally in North Kashmir's Baramulla town on Wednesday, the Home Minister castigated Congress, National Conference, NC and People's Democratic Party, PDP, saying the 3 families had ruined Jammu and Kashmir during the last 75 years. Naming the NC and PDP presidents Dr. Farooq Abdullah and Mehbooba Mufti, Amit Shah says that both former chief ministers were responsible for the miseries of the people. He said the Modi government has brought a developmental and industrial revolution in Kashmir. He observed that during the last 75 years, Congress, NC and PDP had brought just 15,000 crore rupee investments to J&K, whereas the Modi government brought 56,000 crore rupee investments in just a few years. He accused NC, PDP and Congress of giving stones and guns in the hands of the local youth and said 42,000 people were killed in the militancy-related incidents in Jammu and Kashmir. Mr. Shah insisted that the BJP government has taken a strong resolve to rid Kashmir of terrorism and make it again the heaven on the earth. Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has stressed that New Delhi believes in the principle that the whole world is one family, but gives a befitting response if any outsider casts an evil eye. Mr. Singh said this while performing Shastra Puja with Jawans of Armed Forces and ITBP personnel on the occasion of Vijay Dashmi at the Orli military station in Chamoli, Uttarakhand. He said the whole world acknowledged India's growing stature. He said India has emerged as one of the key decision makers on all issues of international importance. Mr. Singh said India is heard with respect at international fora.
India has emerged as the world's largest producer and second largest exporter of sugar. In sugar season 2021-22, a record of more than 5,000 lakh metric tons sugarcane was produced in the country. Out of this, 35 lakh metric ton sugar was diverted to ethanol production and 359 lakh metric ton sugar was produced by sugar mills. The Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution Ministry said the season has proven to be a watershed season for Indian sugar sector. The highest sugar export of over 109 lakh metric ton has been registered. The ministry said supportive international prices and central government policy led to this feat of Indian sugar industry. These exports earned foreign currency of about 40,000 crore rupees. In today's Hotspot section, we bring you a commentary on India as the pharmacy of the world. It has been written by Dr. Atul Kumar Tiwari, Foreign Affairs Editor, All India Radio.
India is hailed as the pharmacy of the world. India's booming pharmaceutical industry is a leading source of path-breaking innovation, especially when it comes to providing life-saving medicines at affordable prices to countries that need them the most. Even during the COVID-19 pandemic, the world continued to depend on Indian vaccines and pharmaceutical manufacturers to get the supply of medication. As per the data, India exported 5.84 crore doses of COVID vaccines to 70 countries as of March 2021. With low-cost skilled manpower and a well-established manufacturing base, India is all set to play even a bigger role in worldwide drug security and continue to be one of the most favored pharmaceutical markets in the world. The Indian pharmaceutical industry is the world's third largest by volume and 14th largest in terms of value. India's pharma industry is valued at $1.42 trillion at the end of 2021. Major segments of pharmaceutical industry are generic drugs, OTC medicines, and API or bulk drugs, vaccines, contract research and manufacturing, biosimilars and biologics. India is a global leader in the supply of DPT, BCG and measles vaccines. India accounts for 60% of global vaccine production, contributing 40 to 70% of the WHO demand for diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis or DPT and Bacillus calmette-guerin BCG vaccines and 90% of the WHO demand for the measles vaccine. India is the largest provider of generic drugs globally. Access to affordable HIV treatment from India is one of the greatest successes due to low price and high quality. Indian medicines are preferred worldwide, thereby rightly making the country the pharmacy of the world. The pharma sector currently contributes around 1.72% of the country's GDP. India's pharmaceutical sector forms a major component of the country's foreign trade with attractive avenues and opportunities for investors. India supplies affordable and low-cost generic drugs to millions of people across the globe and operates a significant number of United States Food and Drug Administration (US FDA) and World Health Organization (WHO) Good Manufacturing Practices (GMP) compliant plants. India has occupied a premier position among pharmaceutical manufacturing countries of the world. India is the third largest market for APIs globally, 8% share in global API industry, 500 plus different APIs are manufactured in India, and it contributes 57% of APIs to pre-qualified list of the WHO. With the help of reverse engineering, India was the first to bring to the market affordable versions of the HIV drugs and life-saving cancer drugs within a few years after the US launch. With numerous generic drug producers in India, there has been a price reduction of over 99% for drugs across various therapeutic areas such as tuberculosis, malaria, HIV/AIDS, hepatitis C and drugs for non-communicable diseases, which are critical aspects of public health programs. India plays a vital role in the supply of affordable HIV medicines around the world. In 1999, as big pharmaceutical companies started charging $10,000 per year per patient for antiretroviral, for millions it became economically unviable to seek treatment. The Indian pharmaceutical industry came to their rescue by enabling manufacturing and supply of HIV antiretroviral with a 99.99% price cut. At present, India is the world's leading source of affordable HIV medicines. India is also one of the biggest suppliers of low-cost vaccines to countries all over the world. India was the first to market the hepatitis B vaccine at an affordable price for the public. India is the country with the largest number of US FDA-compliant pharmaceutical plants, which plays a key role in augmenting its pharmaceutical export efforts. It is estimated that about 65% of children in the world receive a minimum of one vaccine manufactured by India. In light of the COVID-19 pandemic, India is amongst the biggest exporters of vaccines with world-class R&D facilities and qualified manpower. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the global trust earned by the Indian healthcare sector has led to the nation being called the pharmacy of the world. India believes in the well-being of the entire humankind. India has shown this spirit to the whole world during the COVID-19 pandemic. India has exported life-saving medicines and medical equipment to over 150 countries during the initial phase of the COVID pandemic. India has also exported more than 169.2 million doses of COVID vaccines to 96 countries as of February 2022. Most of the India-made vaccines were supplied free. In the past few years, India has emerged as a global medical superpower by strengthening its research and development ecosystem and fueling pharmaceutical exports. The Indian pharmaceutical sector has firmly moved on to a path of growth and innovation, even when the entire world was gripped in the clutches of the pandemic. India's pharmaceutical sector is all set to make it to the global top spot.
This is All India Radio giving you the world news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
Welcome back to the world news. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and its Russia-led allies on Wednesday have agreed to slash 2 million barrels a day at a Vienna meeting on Wednesday, delegates said. It is the deepest cut to oil production since the 2020 COVID pandemic. The cut could spur a recovery in oil prices that have dropped to about $90 from $120 3 months ago on fears of a global economic recession, rising US interest rates and a stronger dollar. The decision could undermine a plan by the Group of 7 wealthy nations to cap the price of Russian oil on the global market, a key part of the West's economic battle with Moscow. The World Trade Organization, WTO, forecasts a slowdown of global trade growth next year as a sharp rise in energy and food prices and rising interest rates curb import demand. It also warned of a possible contraction if the war in Ukraine worsens. The Geneva-based trade body said on Wednesday that the merchandise trade would increase by 3.5% this year, up from its April estimate of 3%. However, for 2023, it sees the trade growth of just 1% compared with the previous forecast of 3.4%. WTO Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala told a news conference that the picture for 2023 has darkened considerably.
Tesla CEO and billionaire Elon Musk has again proposed to buy Twitter at the originally agreed-on price of $44 billion. Musk made the surprising turnaround not on Twitter, as has been his custom. He made the request in a letter to Twitter that it disclosed in a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. It came less than 2 weeks before a trial between the two parties over Musk's attempt to back out of the deal is scheduled to start in Delaware. Musk also faced a scheduled deposition by Twitter attorneys starting Thursday. The Nobel Prize in Chemistry has been jointly awarded to Caroline Bertozzi, Morton Meldal and Barry Sharpless for their work on snipping molecules together, known as click chemistry. Click chemistry is about linking together molecules like those in living cells. Their work is used to explore cells and track biological processes and can be applied in a cancer treatment drug. Johan Akvist, a member of the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences, announced the winners at the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm, Sweden, on Wednesday. The Nobel Committee praised their work for making chemistry functional and said they had an enormous impact on science. Americans Caroline Bertozzi and Barry Sharpless and Danish scientist Morten Meldal were cited for their work on click chemistry and bioorthogonal reactions. These are used to make cancer drugs, map DNA, and create materials that are tailored to a specific purpose. 81-year-old Sharpless, who previously won a Nobel Prize in 2001 and is now the fifth person to receive the award twice, first proposed the idea of connecting molecules using chemical buckles around the turn of the millennium. 68-year-old Meldal is based at the University of Copenhagen, Denmark, and Sharpless is affiliated with Scripps Research, California. 55-year-old Bertozzi is based at the Stanford University in California. The Nobel Prize in Literature will be announced on Thursday, and Nobel Peace Prize will be made official on Friday.
South Korea and the US military conducted missile drills in response to North Korea's launch of a ballistic missile over Japan. Nuclear-armed North Korea test-fired an intermediate-range ballistic missile on Tuesday farther than ever before, sending it soaring over Japan for the first time in 5 years. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said South Korean and US troops fired a volley of missiles into the sea in response. The White House National Security Council called North Korea's latest test dangerous and reckless. Dussehra is being celebrated across India on Wednesday. The festival is celebrated to remember Lord Ram's victory over Ravan, marking the triumph of good over evil. The day also marks the culmination of Navratri and Durga Puja. President Draupadi Murmu, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted people on the occasion. In her message, Ms. Murmu said the festival of Vijay Dashmi is celebrated all over India as a symbol of victory of good over evil, truth over untruth, morality over immorality. She hopes that this festival continues to inspire people to imbibe the eternal life values of ethics, truth and goodness, and to live a life of peace and harmony. Extending heartiest greetings and good wishes to all people, the Vice President said in a message that Dussehra not only symbolizes the victory of good over evil, but also reinforces people's faith in dharma or righteousness. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, "May this auspicious occasion bring courage, restraint and positive energy in everyone's life."
The 5-day-long celebration of Durga Puja in Bangladesh concluded on Wednesday with the immersion of the idols of Goddess Durga. The immersion was preceded by elaborate rituals like Sindoor Khela, in which women play with vermilion and perform ritual dance on the last day of Durga Puja.
আকাশর উঠল বেজে উরুধ্বনি তোল যাসনে মা তুই আজ বিসর্জন ঢাকুরাকুর বাদ্যি বাজে উঠল খুশির রোল থাকিস মা আর কিছুক্ষণ।
The procession in Dhaka presented a colorful and exuberant sight with thousands of devotees marching towards the immersion point. The government had made elaborate security arrangements this year for more than 32,000 puja mandaps in the country. This year, the puja passed off without any untoward incident being reported from the country. Durga Puja is the biggest festival of Hindus of Bangladesh. Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for crores of people across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with the series Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani Ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. In today's episode, we bring you the story of cinema, journey of films in India.
Cinema, the art of the 20th century, came to India within few years of its invention. Father of Indian cinema, Dada Saheb Phalke, released the first ever full-length feature film, Raja Harishchandra, in 1913. The rest is history. The first ever talkie, Alamara, was made by Ardeshir Irani in 1931.
गर देने की दे दे कुछ चाहे अगर तो मांग ले मुझसे चाहे अगर तो मांग ले मुझसे हिम्मत है गर लेने की ले ले.
Indian masala film, a term used for mixed genre films that combine song, dance, romance, arose following World War II. During the 1940s, South India accounted for nearly half of India's cinema halls, and cinema came to be viewed as an instrument of cultural revival. The real growth of Indian cinema began after independence. Government established Films Division by 1948, which eventually became one of the world's largest documentary film producers, with an annual production of over 200 short documentaries, each released in 18 languages, with 9,000 prints for permanent film theatres across the country. India became the largest producer of feature films in the world. By 2019, the country had 6,327 single screens and 3,200 multiplex screens. Indian cinema is composed of various language film industries. In 2021, Hindi produced 495 films, followed by Kannada 336, Telugu 281, Tamil 254, Malayalam 219, Bengali 193, Marathi 164, Bhojpuri 101, Gujarati 80, Punjabi 63, Odia 42 and Assamese 34. Apart from these, 28 films were made in English, 16 in Tulu, 15 in Manipuri and 11 in Nagamese. In tomorrow's episode, we will tell the story of Hindi film industry, also known as Bollywood.
Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani Ke Saath can be accessed on at AIR News Alerts on Twitter, News on AIR official YouTube channel, News on AIR app, Facebook and Instagram handles. So tune into All India Radio News for Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani Ke Saath.
In cricket, the first one-day international of three-match series between India and South Africa will be played in Lucknow on Thursday. The match will start at 1:30 in the afternoon Indian time. The other two matches will be played in Ranchi on the 9th of this month and in Delhi on the 11th. In cricket, Australia defeated the West Indies by 3 wickets in the first match of the two-match series at the Metricon Stadium, Australia. The hosts won the toss and elected to field. The visitors scored 145 runs with the loss of 9 wickets in stipulated 20 overs. In response, the Aussies reached the target with 1 ball remaining. Aaron Finch was declared the man of the match.
PR Srijesh and Savita Punya have been voted FIH Men's and Women's Goalkeeper of the Year award for the second year in a row. Savita Punya, the captain of the Indian women's hockey team, and veteran goalkeeper PR Srijesh both received the FIH Goalkeeper of the Year title in the men's and women's categories on the strength of their performances beneath the bar. Savita is just the third athlete to win Goalkeeper of the Year Women for 3 years in a row since the award's debut in 2014. India Under-17 national women's team squad for the FIFA U17 World Cup 2022 has been announced. The World Cup is scheduled to begin next week. The team's head coach Thomas Denaby announced the 21-player squad in Bhubaneswar today. The members of the India squad are Monalisha Devi Moirangthem, Melody Chanu Kaishan, Anjali Munda, Astam Oraon, Kajal Naketa, Purnima Kumari Varshika, Shilki Devi Hemam, Babina Devi Lisham, Neetu Linda, Shailaja Shubhangi Singh, Anita Kumari, Linda Comserto Neha, Regia Devi Laishram, Sheila Devi Longtangbam, Kajol Hubert D'Souza, Lavanya Upadhyay and Sudha Ankita Tirke. India have been drawn in Group A alongside United States, Morocco and Brazil. They will face the US on October the 11th, followed by Morocco and Brazil on 14th of October and 17th of October respectively at the Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar. The other two venues for the FIFA U17 Women's World Cup India 2022 are Goa and Navi Mumbai.
And now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press. The New York Times observes that OPEC's oil cut complicates the European Union's plan to put a price cap on Russian oil. The Washington Post notes that after OPEC and allies slashing oil production, higher gas prices could follow. The Guardian writes that Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has called a general election for 1st of November after a member of a ruling coalition threatened to withdraw its support over her handling of the country's controversial COVID mass mink cull. South China Morning Post reports that U.S. military surveillance in South China Sea scaled back after spike in tensions across the Taiwan Strait. The Financial Times writes that Russian troops retreat from front lines in southern Ukraine. The Asahi Shimbun says Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and US President Joe Biden agreed to shore up their respective nations' deterrence and response capabilities following North Korea's missile launch. And the Globe and Mail notes that Iranian police have been deployed at universities as unrest over Mahsa Amini's death churns on.
And now a quick look at the headlines once again. Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says India and New Zealand are committed to furthering their bilateral relationship. India rules out talks with Pakistan. Home Minister Amit Shah says terrorism would be eradicated from Kashmir Valley at any cost. India emerges as the world's largest producer and second largest exporter of sugar. OPEC and its Russia-led allies agree to slash oil production 2 million barrels a day. World Trade Organization forecast a slowdown of global trade growth next year. Nobel Prize in Chemistry jointly awarded to 1 Danish and 2 American scientists for their work which can be applied in treatment of cancer. Dussehra marking triumph of good over evil being celebrated across India. Durga Puja celebrations conclude in Bangladesh. And in cricket, India to play South Africa in first ODI of 3 match in Lucknow on Thursday. And now, before we end, let us listen to Mahatma Gandhi's favorite bhajan, Vaishnavajan, by artists from Zambia.
तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने
And with that, we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.